What's happening, guys? I'm Curtis, and you're watching Left Foot First. Alright guys, in the last episode I was a little bummed out. We had some issues welding. Since that episode I've basically done nothing but research how to TIG weld, TIG welding 101, why are my welds so shitty, what should I be doing? And I basically come up with, I'm doing everything right, I'm just not very good. So I need to do some practice and just get better. I'm also looking and I'm not bad on the nice easy welds, but as soon as they start getting weird shapes and I have to like weld upside down and stuff, I'm getting terrible welds. So I think that's the issue, is I overstepped my bounds a little bit on my skill level. So instead of going through and making sure everything's welded perfectly, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna charge ahead and get the chassis tacked together a little bit better, put the top rails on, finally. I know I've been promising it for like 3 episodes. Get the top rails on and get it a little more solid so that we can take and skid it off of the chassis table so that I can get into some of the more difficult areas and weld them a little bit better. And if I can't do it, maybe I'll grind them back and just make weld the really hard ones. So let's bust out some steel, let's throw some top rails on here and see what we can get done. What do you guys think of my sweet jigging system here? Just an 8-pound sledgehammer holds this end down so it doesn't fall down because I don't have it supported over on that end. Sometimes you gotta get a little creative. So with those top bars in place now, we can start working on this bar that goes from the top bars over to the bulkhead support. This bar is pretty critical because it's going to be the one that you're climbing in and out of, over top of every time. So this is where we're going to change it up a little bit from like all the plan chassis. We're actually going to go with round bar instead of square tubing. And we're also going to put it in here just at a slight downward angle. That'll just make it nicer for resting your arm on or getting in and out of. So there's no real rhyme or reason to what this angle is going to be. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it until it looks right and then just make both sides the same. This bar is also going to be pretty critical because it's going to support the bar that goes down from here, which is where all of our rear suspension links are going to pick up off of. So this one's a pretty critical piece. So let's measure a couple of them up and throw them in there. I didn't film myself making this piece strictly because I wasn't sure if it was going to work. My bandsaw won't cut an angle that sharp, So I had to like kind of jerry rig it with some chunks of metal into the vise on it, and then just sand it until it was perfect. So I made it and it fits perfect. Fits right there. It'll be perfect. All my gaps are nice and tight. The issue is that now I got to make a second one for the other side. So let's see if we can replicate this accident. Cut this episode short. We got the top bars on, then building those chunks of round tubing that go backwards to the bulkhead support. Those took quite a bit longer than I thought they would, and I'm just out of time. So we'll have to pick this up again next episode. I'm not 100% sold on the way that we have those top bars just balancing on the uprights. I think they're going to want to wander around too much while we're welding. So we might have to come up with a better solution for jigging those or supporting them while we weld, or we might have to take and pull them all off and come up with a better plan. So I'm gonna go do some research, figure out what we need to do next episode. You guys are gonna wait for that one to come out, and we'll see what we can do. So we'll see you guys next week.